I've been meaning to make this video for a while, but back in December, I built myself a computer, which is obviously that computer there, and I got all the parts during Black Friday, more or less, those sort of sales, and yeah, so I've got a gaming computer, although I don't like calling it a gaming computer because I feel like that's a bit of a stupid thing to call a computer a gaming computer because it's a computer, it does computer stuff. Anyway, that's besides the point. So I built myself a computer. So there's going to be two parts to this video because currently this computer has a MSI B450 Tomahawk Max motherboard, which is what you're seeing in there. It has 16 gig of RAM, which is Corsair low profile LPX, I think it's called. Then it was 2 6 of 8 gigabytes. I then have a RX 580, which is a Nitro Plus, which is 8 gigabytes. So it's a Sapphire RX 580 Nitro Plus 8 gigabyte version. The power supply is 750. It's a semi-modular because I didn't really see the point of going for modular because the two cables that are actually built into that power supply are for the motherboard anyway, so I'm not going to be taking them out ever anyway. Then the processor is a Ryzen 5 3600, and I got that for about £170, got the graphics card for a similar price. Motherboard was about £70, I think, 74, 75. The power supply, can't even remember. Case is a Corsair Spec 04 tempered glass version, so this is a tempered glass side panel. That was about £54 as well, £55. And I think that's basically it. The fans are, so initially, and I'll have a snippet from the first recording I made. So I had recorded this video before, but I just wasn't happy with it. So I recorded this video initially whenever I first built the computer. So initially it had red fans only. So the case came with one of these red fans, but it was clear. So it was like a transparent version. So it wasn't black, it was transparent instead. And it wasn't as good, it didn't spin as fast, and it made a bit of a rattling noise. So the case came with that in the middle position here. So I had that fan in there then, the transparent one. Then I had 3 red fans, this one here. Then I had one on the back and one on the top. And then obviously you can see in the video, I just had the stock cooler for the 3600 as well, in where the tower cooler is now. But that was basically it, you know. And then I've got LEDs in here now as well, up at the, you know, down below and up at the top as well. So I changed the cooler first off because the built-in stock cooler, well, the stock cooler that comes with the 3600 is a bit loud for my liking. I like, for some reason, and it sounds weird saying it, like my ears are a bit sensitive, so like I just don't really like noise, to be honest. And especially the fan would have been okay if it was a constant noise. If it was constant noise at the same level, I would have been okay with it. But the fact that it was kind of like revving up, it kept like revving almost. I know you can change that in your settings, but then you're kind of risking it getting a bit too hot and stuff like that. So I ended up getting a Cooler Master, just a push-pull thing. So it's a Cooler Master tower. Can't remember what it is, to be honest. But I got a Cooler Master tower. It came with a fan, but it was a black fan with no RGB or anything like that. And I wasn't sure how good it was going to be, so I basically got 3 new Corsair fans in a bundle. They are, I think, SL or SP 120s, so they're all 120mm fans, but these ones are RGB. So this one I've got that changes color depending on how hard or how hot I think the CPU is. So that changes the color depending on hotness. So right now it's like a pinky blue color, and that means it's relatively cool. And then whenever you start like recording and playing VR, for example, it goes bright red, which means it's pretty hot. But even at that, it's only like 50 or 60 degrees, so it's not actually that bad. Then this fan at the back is just kind of, these two fans are just alternating colors because I thought it looked cool. You can't really see this fan, but you know, it changes color anyway. And you can kind of see it through this fan a tad. So yeah, and then Sapphire, this is changing color as well. That's the only RGB thing about this card. And then I got these LED strips because it's not that I wanted loads of RGB, I just wanted to be able to see inside of the case. So I'm not having them alternating colors and like that, I literally just wanted to see inside of the case. So I got 2 or 2 RGB strips basically in a bundle off of Amazon for, I don't know, it was like £10–20. It wasn't that expensive, and it might have been less than £10 actually. But basically, the cable here hooks into the motherboard in the RGB slot down there somewhere, and it goes around, and it's connected. The cables are connected, and then there's RGB strip here, cable going down there, RGB strip here, and then it goes into the motherboard. So that's how it works. I've got a 1TB SSD behind there. It's WD Blue. I got it for about £80 during Black Friday, which was a pretty good deal considering it's now like £100 and something off Amazon. So I got a pretty good deal on that. I don't have any hard drives yet, but I do plan on getting a hard drive at some stage. But I don't really have any need for it at the moment. And I've got a wee hub there for the fans as well, because they're, so the hub came with them anyway, so I kind of got that for free. The monitor itself is a Acer something. It's 1 millisecond response time, as it says in the box, but I mean that varies depending on what you're doing on it. It's a 1080p display. It's 144 hertz, so 144 hertz, and it's 27-inch, so it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Some reviews on Amazon were a bit dodgy, saying there's dead pixels and stuff. I have had this monitor since December, and I have had no issues with it. Literally no issues. It's an amazing monitor. I love it. So the only thing is I could get 4K because I'm getting a new graphics card, which is why there are 2 parts to this video. But I'm happy enough with this, to be honest. My TV over there is 1080p, and I'm really happy with this anyway, so yeah. And I think it was £170 maybe, 180 for the monitor. So yeah, and then this was literally a lightning deal off of Amazon. The keyboard and mouse thing is Habit is the brand. I mean, it's a mechanical keyboard. It's a mouse with 2 side buttons on the side. RGB, what more can you want? You know, what more can you ask for? So the keyboard is surprisingly good. I got them for like £30 in total. It was £29.99 I think. So yeah, it was in a bundle and they work pretty well. Nice braided cables, obviously mechanical, and this is 2 side buttons as well. You can change your DPI with this button, and this changes the color schemes. So yeah, there's a bunch of different color schemes you can have on this as well, but you can change the timings and stuff. It's built into the keyboard. There's no software for it, so it's pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with it. So the problem that I had was whenever I was choosing the parts of my computer, I'd never built a computer before. I wasn't that into computers really. I'd always been like, oh, I want to build a computer, but I built it for Half-Life Alyx because I like Half-Life games, as you can see. Like I've got Half-Life 2 all the way down. I've got Black Mesa, Half-Life 1, all that, and Portal 2 and stuff. So that's like half the games on my computer. So, you know, I've played through them and everything, and on the computer, that is. I played them on the Xbox and PS3 and stuff a ton as well. But Half-Life Alyx, I need to play it, therefore I bought a computer, got a Oculus Rift S as well. Ignore the mess, it'll be better in the next half of the video. And I want to record Half-Life Alyx, but I can't really record Boneworks, and Boneworks is less intensive than Half-Life Alyx is going to be. And my graphics card, being an RX 580, only barely meets the requirements for Half-Life Alyx. Therefore, I thought to myself, the whole reason why I got the computer was to play Half-Life Alyx. And I want to record it as well. So if I can't do that, what's the point of having the computer? So basically I decided, you know what, I'm going to get a better graphics card. So I've ordered a RX 5700 XT, and it's the exact same like version and everything. So it's a Sapphire brand, and it's a Nitro Plus edition of it. So it's basically gonna look very similar. It'll look better, like, and it'll be a bit longer, probably come to about here, I think. But, I mean, I've watched a ton of reviews, and as far as I can tell, the Sapphire Nitro Plus version of the RX 5700 XT is probably one of the best versions of the 5700 XT. It's on par with the Power Color Red Devil as well, which seems to be a pretty good card. So I got this one because I think it's slightly quieter. It's got a quiet mode. Sorry, I keep saying this one, but it's the 3700. But I'll go over this in the next half of the video. But I got the 5700 because I got the Sapphire Nitro Plus version because it has a quiet mode and it has a performance mode, and the quiet mode is quieter than the Red Devil, which is why I got it. Plus, I'm only playing on a 1080p monitor, and yeah, so it's a bit overkill anyway, so I've kind of thought, yeah, it's a bit quieter, and yeah, it's a pretty good upgrade, I would say. So that's the big thing. So the next half of the video is going to be showing off the new graphics card, but that's really it. So in addition to ordering the graphics card, I also ordered a 500GB WD Blue SSD. So literally the SSD is behind that panel, but only 500GB instead of a terabyte, for my laptop, because my laptop is an Acer Aspire F15 from, it's be 4 or 5 years old at this stage, but I used it for school and everything, and it's got a WD Blue 1TB hard drive in it that came with it. So I took it apart the other day and I discovered it has the exact same hard drive I was actually going to buy to put in it. So I decided I'm going to get an SSD. It's a bit slow, so the computer is, and the hard drive is full of stuff, and it's got literally every single video I've ever uploaded to the channel prior to me getting the computer is on that laptop. So I thought I don't really want to delete everything, or you know, in order to make the computer a bit faster. So I decided to get an SSD and just chuck the hard drive in a cupboard somewhere, or even put it in there. But it is a 2.5-inch hard drive, so it won't really fit in those slots. But I'm using this because if I ever have to stay away for work, then I can take this with me and play Half-Life 1. Well, I can play Half-Life 1 on it anyway. I was away at the start of the weekend, I was playing Half-Life 1 in a hotel. But, you know, if I ever have to go away for work, stay overnight somewhere, then I can take this with me and play games on it. So I thought I would get the SSD because this computer is the laptop's a bit slow basically. So I thought I'll get an SSD. I have an SSD in this, and this computer is pretty snappy. So I thought 5400 RPM drive, which is pretty, you know, full of just rubbish basically, compared to an SSD is going to be a big upgrade. So I think it's a worthy investment, and it was like 60 pounds I think, so I think that's pretty good value for money. So that's basically it. So I'll go on to the second half of the video. If I've forgotten anything, I will make sure to talk about it in the next half of the video. Anyway, transition. So I actually recorded this part of the video before, but then I changed everything to do with the case. So I'll actually get a bit better lighting. Hold on. That'll be a wee bit better. So I, first off, got a new graphics card. I've used it for a few weeks now, and I love it so much. It's brilliant for VR. I love it so much. For Black Mesa, it's amazing. For anything, it just tears through it. So it's, as I said in the other half of the video, it's an RX 5700 XT, and it's a Sapphire Nitro Plus version. There is a Sapphire Pulse version, but the Nitro Plus is basically one of the best 5700 XTs as far as I know. So that's why I got it, and plus it looks really cool, I think. So this is my final build. I changed the colours. I also changed where a fan was. So there was a fan up there, but it is now down there. So I've got a full, like, tower, I suppose, of red fans at the front for intake. I have one outtake, which is this RGB fan there, and then I've got an RGB fan there and another one there. So I changed the colour scheme. So if you'll remember from the other half of the video, it was red with I can't remember. It was red, and this fan changed depending on the CPU colour or the CPU temperature, and I think the two back ones were just kind of like a rainbowy effect. And then obviously there was a red fan up there, there was two red fans here, and then the case was red, the lighting was red. So I've changed it to being a darkish blue. I've also made it a bit dimmer. So I've also got the graphics card as RGB, so it's a sort of like an ice blue is how I would describe it. And it's, I went on to, these are Corsair fans, so you use the IQ software, and you can import profiles. So I found one called Cherry Berry or something, and then I kind of remade it. So it's usually a lot brighter than this. I think the colours might be ever so slightly different, but that's basically what it is. So I've got this fan as being blue and red, and it's split horizontal. Same one with the exhaust, and this one is CPU dependent, I think, or I don't think it is actually. I think I just chose a colour. So yeah, so I think it looks really cool. I'm really happy with it. I kind of realised I didn't say anything about the case. or at least I don't think I said anything about the case in the first half of the video. So this is a Corsair Spec 04 and it's the tempered glass version. The normal version is just a metal side and it has a wee acrylic window, but I much prefer this because you can really see into it, and I just really like it. That's the reason why I got the case. If you weren't able to get the tempered glass side panel, I wouldn't have got the case. But that's why I got it. Also, I mean, I like the way it looks. But the tempered glass is what won me over with it. You can also, well, I took out the hard drive holder because I don't have any hard drives. My SSD is behind that panel there. If I ever need more space, I'll get another SSD basically. And then I can also get I can get an M.2 SSD as well if I need it. So yeah, that's fine. And I think it makes the case look a lot more spacious. That's why I put the fan down there, because I had the space then too, because you can't actually put the fan in there whenever there's a hard drive holder, as far as I know, and also it would restrict airflow anyway. So that's that. I also reorganized cables a bit. So there was the controller for the LED fan. I'll move that. Hold on. The controller for the RGB fans was actually down there before, and it was hidden by the hard drive holder slots, and because it was dark down there, so you can see it. But because I took it away, then you could see it, obviously, the controller. So it's moved behind the motherboard now. It's on the other side, so it's behind this panel here. So it's like there somewhere. So the RGB fans, they go through that top hole, and then they kind of lip around the back, and it's basically right behind the CPU, as far as I remember. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So I just, you know, improved the cable management a wee bit. There's not really any cables out in the open anymore, aside from, I mean, those ones up there, but they look okay, I think. It looks a bit wild up there, but I don't really care, to be honest. It's just, this is all nice and clear. This SATA cable, it was a bit too beefy to put behind the panel there, so I kind of left it hanging out. And that cable there going off of one of the SATA ports, or one of the SATA connections, is actually for the controller. But I couldn't fit it behind the panel, so I've just left it like that. But I think it looks okay, to be honest. I don't think it looks the worst. And yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. I don't know how exactly 3 intakes and 1 outtake is going to perform compared to the old one where it was like 3 intakes and 2 outtakes. Or 2 exhausts. I'd actually moved the fan from there to there, and it seemed to improve temperatures by like a degree or 2. Because it was no longer taking out fresh air, it was taking out hot air. But it's moved down there now, so there's only 1 exhaust. I did kind of tinker with the fans a wee bit, so these ones in total are like, I think 1600 RPM in total, like combined between all of them, or 1800, whereas this one at the back is like 1000. So I think that's 1600 as intake and 1000 as outtake exhaust. So, you know, air, you can feel air coming out of like different cracks and stuff in the holes, but that's probably quite good because it means dust won't get in. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with it too. I also changed my desktop, so it's a work in progress. So I'm gonna have like games along here, and I'm gonna have like recording stuff and just apps on this side. So that's using Rainmaker, which is like, it's this software you can use for desktop stuff. And then I'll get rid of I'll hide all my desktop icons, but I kind of use that just as a, because it's a work in progress. Just in the meantime, you know, I'll use the actual apps, or, you know, the actual icons. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with it. So that's pretty much it. I have overclocked, actually I've undervolted the 5700 because this is quite a power hungry 5700 XT, the Sapphire Nitro Plus one, so it's actually quite power hungry, so it gets quite hot. So I have it on the performance BIOS. There's 3 BIOSes. There's there's 2 BIOSes: performance and noise or quietness or whatever, stealth or whatever they describe it as. And then they have another option which is software, so you can do it using the Trick software in your computer. But I have it on the performance one because I didn't change it. So as far as I know, it's on the performance software. I went into the AMD software, or the performance setting, and I went into the AMD software and undervolted it and took the frequency down a tad, not very much, but ever so slightly, because I'm never gonna have to use all of the it's overkill basically is what I'm saying. So because this is only 1080p, and for VR it might even be a bit overkill. But anyway, so that's it. I am very happy. I've overclocked, I've undervolted the graphics card. I'm not gonna touch the processor in terms of overclocking because I don't need to. I don't see the point in it. I think my board kind of does it itself a tad anyway. And the RAM, I might overclock, but that's for her like a full day because you have to do so many tests and stuff to make sure they're stable. But at the moment, I'm more than happy with it. So yeah, that's the computer. I hope you've enjoyed me rambling about my computer and everything, but yeah, I think this looks much better than the other way it looked, which if I remember, I'll have like a split down the screen showing the old version and the new version of my computer. So yeah, and yeah, so that's about it. So if you've got any sort of comments or anything, leave them in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, maybe even subscribing, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye bye.